We require a lot more energy.
Right, right. Are we live or how it is?
Yes, yes, we are live, sir. But we can wait for sir participants because. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning to one and all. As we all know, why we why we all are why we all are gathered here. Good morning to one and all. As we all know, why we all are gathered here. We are gathered here on the occasion of this online 3 days national webinar series on emerging opportunities in food processing sector. Let's hope yesterday we had a great session with Kalyani sir. The ideas, the experience, or the valuable session he shared that will be very much beneficial for you in order to implement his strategies into your futuristic life or into your food technological life. But from warm, heartful, gritty inconvenience for the first time due to some technical error, Ranveer's session could not be completed because of some problem, technical issue. Later on, it will scheduled on the Saturday evening at 5 p.m. So, in a similar way, today also we have an eminent speaker from a food technological background. The persons or the participants, those who are joining today's session, they know him very well. He does not need any kind of an introduction. But for other peoples, I have to introduce yourself. That today's eminent speaker is Mr. Satish Borkhade, sir. He is having 14 plus years experience in the food technological sector and the food processing sector. From last 14 years, he is giving his ideas, his valuable guidance to the most of the industries from the India also as well as abroad. So today on the particular topic that is sensing and utilization of emerging opportunities in food processing sectors, he is going to deliver his speech. His expertise area is sales, marketing strategies and business plans. So he not only works for the Indian industries, or his plans are not only implemented by the Indian industries but also the abroad like Kenya, Zimbabwe, Germany, France, USA, South Africa, Rwanda. In all the countries, he will give a valuable guidance or how to share or how to start up a business and what are the ideas and what are the strategies that each and everyone industry has to follow. So these rules and regulations also followed by the different industries which were followed by the Mr. Satish sir. So current assignment means right now he is working for the OROR Flavour and Chemical Private Limited. Right now he is business development manager for whole South Africa country or whole South African region. Okay, he in this similar seminar, 14 to 15 seminar has been conducted by the Satish sir in aspects of various business strategies and plans. He has delivered so many speeches in different webinars. He had delivered different seminars in national conferences as well as in international conferences, as well as he also participated or he also given a valuable information which becomes a motivational speech for all the food technological research. His guidance, his knowledge, his experience, which will definitely and surely help more than 5,000 people or more than 5,000 students across the India in order to implement his plans and strategies into their not only the future life but futuristic food technological life, because each and everyone is going to live a life, but we have to live a futuristic food technological life. Okay, so like yesterday you have listened calmly quietly to the Kalyani sir. In similar way, I would ask all the participants to listen give their feedbacks about the today's session, because this session will be very much helpful in order to implement and execute your business plans. So, by not wasting your time, our time, I'll directly take you to Mr. Satish Borkhade, sir, who is also with us. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, all. Yes, shall we start, sir? Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, go ahead, sir.
Okay, okay.
So, please, sir, please proceed, sir. You can start, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Maybe we can go on the slides directly so that it is easy. For the better streaming, I am stopping my video so that all can focus actually on the topic which is there in front of all of us. And I would like to clarify one thing, means the haircut you are seeing on me, it is made by my brother because of the lockdown and corona concerns. So there is no other issue. I just want to clarify that. Look, coming back to the topic which I have chosen is the sensing and utilization of emerging opportunities in food processing sector. Thanks to KSK College of Food Technology, thanks to Saunke sir, Vishal Raut sir, Imran sir, and all the staff members of KSK Food Technology College for having me here and for arranging such kind of webinar, which definitely will help all the students and even the working professionals. With this topic, I would cover most of the things which are helpful for the food technology field overall. It is not that it is only helpful for the students. It is helpful for one and all. Definitely, some of you might be already knowing most of the aspects which I am going to cover, but it is always good to have a review. Next slide, please, sir. Hello, sir. Next slide. Yes. Okay. So here comes the first slide, and there are basic thumb rules I would like to reiterate along with this slide, which will be important for the entire presentation. This topic, if you have noticed, this is open ended topic, and definitely since it is open ended topic, it needs a open mind to understand and to absorb most of the concepts. Because there are many things which I have included, and this is like having the directional overview of the food processing industry and emerging opportunities. I cannot really go into the depth of each and every point, and it is needed to study it further in depth, point wise. And I leave it up to the students and the professionals to work on each and every point as per their passion or the interest level. Then the second important point, which I usually tell in all my seminars and to myself also, wherever there are problems, there are opportunities. In short, this equation is very much important for every one of us, and to go ahead or to progress in our life. If there is a problem, definitely there is an opportunity. For example, I would take the current problem which is prevalent and which is known to all of us. That is Corona. It is a big problem. At the same time, it is big opportunity. Why I am saying so? There is a reason. With the Corona, there are few food categories. I will take the example of food categories only. How it has impacted food categories. If we see, beverage industry and the ice cream industry has hampered a lot because of the Corona, because people are going away with the cold stuff. They feel that if they are taking the cold stuff, they will they will caught the cold, and then there will be unnecessary tension. So people are avoiding beverages and ice creams or any kind of cold foods. But at the same time, if you see, it has turned out to be a big opportunity for the bakery and for noodle segment or for the convenience food segment. If you see the market, you will not see any kind of noodle packet which is there. Means people nowadays they are buying boxes of the noodles and boxes of the biscuits instead of a single piece or a couple of pieces of the packets. So in a way, this corona problem has turned out to be a blessing for these two categories like noodles and the biscuits, and it applies for all the different food categories as far as growth or degrowth is concerned because of corona. I leave it up to you to analyze how corona has impacted on each of the product category or food product category. Then a single problem is equal to multiple opportunities. Again, I would give example of corona has turned out to be a blessings for the medical field, for the pharmaceutical field, for some of the food categories as we discussed. Although it is a problem, at the same time there is big movement in some of the sectors as far as revenue is concerned or as far as earnings are concerned. Then trends is equal to opportunities emerging and vice versa. Emerging opportunities are always means we term them as new trends or emerging trends, and those trends are actually giving us the sense of what kind of emerging opportunities are there in the market. Please keep these four rules in basic thumb rules in the mind while going through the entire presentation, while going through each and every point of the presentation. Next slide, please, sir. So before going or entering into the any topic, I really love to ask this basic question to myself, and every one of us should ask. Means before going for any activity, before going for any presentation, before going for any new course, or before going for any new job, or before entering into the marriage. Definitely, before entering into the marriage, we ask lot many questions to ourselves. Why is the basic question we ask. Similarly, we should ask this question to the topic which I have taken, that is emerging opportunities in food processing sector and how to sense them. So why it is needed to sense the emerging opportunities? Because we can be able to gauge the near future. There are the points I have enlisted. Those are like basic points, and I'm sure you can add number of points to the list which I have indicated here. But most important is to gauge the near future. And why we gauge the near future? To keep ourselves updated on the advances in food products processing and packaging, to learn about the market trends, what are the new trends going on. Definitely we want to be ahead of the competition as a student, as a company, as a college, an institution. Everyone wants to be ahead in the competition. That's why it is very important to understand what are the market trends, what are the market opportunities, what are the market trends vanished from the market. So to avoid these kinds of probable losses, we need to sense the emerging opportunities or emerging threats. To gain the profits, to study and extend the life cycle of products if possible. This is very important point. I will elaborate this point in the next slide. What is the meaning of life cycle and how it is important not only for the food products but also for anything which is there in the life, as far as new opportunities or trends are concerned, is how a product starts, generates, being launched, and how it dies actually, and to avoid the threat of being discarded by the market. And why sensing these emerging opportunities will be helpful. Those will be helpful for utilization of benefit of oneself, for the benefit of an institution or an organization. How it will benefit, we will cover it in the subsequent slides. Next slide, please, sir. Hello, sir. Next slide. Am I audible, sir?
So yes, sir. 1 second, sir.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So life cycle of major food products. Students and professionals, I would like to actually bring all of your attention and focus on this particular slide. The subsequent slide also says about the life cycle only. But this is how it happens in everyone's life and for any product or for anything in the life. In short, I would tell one thing: whatever it takes the birth, it has to die. Whatever it is, whether it is earth, whether it is man, whether it is tree, whether it is any technology, anything on the earth, whatever it takes birth, it has to die one day, and it passes through the life cycle phases of what a person passes through. Once we take the birth, we grow, we get the maturity, we enjoy the life at the peak of our youth, and then there is a decline phase of, say, we grow age old, and then one day we die. Similarly, it happens for any kind of given product in the market, whether it is Apple, whether it is Tesla, whether it is any food product. You take example of anything. So there is, as far as food products are concerned, this is the life cycle. There is a conceptualization of the product, then product development team works on it, then a product is being introduced in the market, and then product is being accepted by the consumers, and then it sees the growth, it sees the peak. uh, it enjoys the highest amount of growth as far as product uptake is concerned, and then it observes the decline. You can see the income graph also along with it. Till the time product is launched and accepted by the customer, any company does not make the profit, and that's what we call it as a break even point. Sometimes we can actually correlate with that, and then there is a growth phase or maturity phase, and then there is a decline. Next slide please. In next slide we will elaborate it in a much better way. You will understand it in much better way. Next slide is actually having an example of a market product which is non-food product, but definitely it will help in correlation of the life cycle of that non-food product with the food products available in the market. Okay, thank you. So here is the example of Maruti 800. If we go back to the analyze it with the earlier slide, this Maruti 800 has been introduced by the company in 1983, and till 1986 it was like a introduction stage for the company, for the Maruti 800 brand. Then they observed the growth from 1987 to 1996. From 97 to 2000 it was like a maturity stage, means there was say growth was very meager, very less for the Maruti 800, or there was no growth, but definitely the sales number was stagnant. So that was like a maturity stage for the Maruti 800, and then from 2003 onwards it started declining, and now we can say it is visible to all of us that it is not there in the market. Maruti 800, it is not being sold in the market. And definitely the earlier Maruti 800, they had tried revamping and tried relaunching in the market, but it's not there in the market as far as that product is concerned. There are other examples which has been gone out of market, like Nokia, then Canon camera rolls or roll cameras, then BlackBerry phones, and even if we correlate it with the rituals, means there are many rituals which actually dies with the time. We leave some kind of rituals and we adopt some new kind of rituals. For rituals also this life cycle is very much applicable, and for, I would say, almost everything this life cycle phenomenon is applicable. Coming back to the food, in correlation with the life cycle phenomenon, what are the products in the market which are in the introduction phase? That is like we can take the example of multigrain chips, health snacks, and food delivery companies like Swiggy and all. So those are in, I would say, introduction phase. And in growth phase, as far as growth phase is concerned, I have given the example of Tesla, which is non-food example, electric car producing company. They are doing many more things apart from the electric car, but yes, they are observing the growth phase already in US for the electric cars, although those are not introduced in the other parts of the world. But they are in the growth phase as far as the electric car sale is concerned in the US. Then the nachos is like the product derived out of corn. It is called as nacho chips generally in the market. That is observing growth phase in India. There are more than 18 companies who are like very much active in the nachos manufacturing segment and the sales segment. Then the Indian QSR chains with the local products like Chayos and all. There are many Indian QSR quick service restaurant chains which are observing the growth phase. And as far as maturity phase is concerned, I would give some non-food examples. That is like Android is already observing the maturity phase. iOS is observing the maturity phase. Then Facebook is already at the maturity stage as far as life cycle is concerned. And another example is Maggie, with the exception of this Corona, because in Corona, Maggie has observed a growth like never before. Means they have regained what they lost in last 3 4 years after that last challenge what they faced. Next slide, please. Sir, next slide, please.
One second.
Okay, then we are entering into the actual topic. Means what are the major factors affecting the opportunities, or how opportunities emerge actually, or how trends emerge. There are basically three factors I would like to mention here. There might be many more factors which you can actually add to it, but if we see these three factors, need, convenience, and the indulgence, either individually or in combination, they work for giving rise to any kind of trend or any kind of opportunity as far as food segment is concerned. So when we say need is like means the basic food product needs what we have. It's like atta, oil, spices, nuts, milk, dals, and all the healthy products, indigenous healthy products we have at home. Then convenience is something which has been converted, the food product which has been converted into the convenient packing and the convenient options in terms of its processing. For example, there are ready to cook, ready to eat products available in the market. For example, noodles, pastas, sauces, different types of chutneys are there. Then atta in packing. If we see for the atta, I would like to give example of atta here. In my childhood, I never imagined that atta will be sold in the retail packing of 5 kgs or 10 kgs or 1 kg for that sake. I um, in my childhood, I used to go to the nearest atta chakki. I used to get this atta out of that chakki and take it to the home. So I was the person who was doing it on behalf of my home, and I used to imagine that this is how atta will be. We will get the atta for our lifetime. But I was wrong. This concept has been changed totally, and now even in the rural area, being a person from the rural part, I could say even in the villages nowadays, people are using atta in packing. So this is something which is about the convenience. So convenience is like a major game changer for the emerging opportunities in the food processing sector. So students and professionals actually, you might be already studying about the convenience, but you can go out of box as far as your imagination is concerned, and you can check on what all different types of convenient options you can try to offer as a food technologist to the consumers. Then there is indulgence. Indulgence is the word which actually depicts to anything which we find tasty in life. So whatever it is, means our tongue feels tasty, it is like the indulgence product. For example, anything which is fried, anything which is very sweet, that comes in, or anything which is salty. So all these snacks, Indian sweets and the chocolates, all these will come under the indulgence foods, which are very good in taste, but at a times they might not be good for the health as far as non-communicable diseases are concerned or the cardiovascular diseases are concerned. So these three factors, singly or in combination, they affect the emerging opportunities in the food sector. Next slide, please, sir. These factors, students can actually learn in depth about all these factors. They can go in depth. Then the next slide is saying about sensing emerging opportunities, how one can sense the emerging opportunities. Particularly, again, coming back to the topic, I would like to reiterate why I have taken this topic. There are multiple seminars. You will seminars of there are multiple informations available around the emerging opportunities in food processing sector as on date. As on date, you will get the information, the data, whatever it is needed on the internet from your seniors, from teachers. But we should be able to get this data on our own. So that's why I have chosen this topic, means how we can sense the emerging opportunities at any given point of time in our life as a food technologist. So for sensing these emerging opportunities, what methodology we can adopt is like I have tried to segment it in some of the basic parameters. First one is like processing chain, then role of media marketing and the economy, then gradual transition to the health, how health is actually impacting the emerging trends, then evolving regulations, how regulation is important, then analysis of food demand as per the pyramid. The pyramid here is concerned with the population and the class, which I will explain in in the given slide, and then other general parameters to sense the emerging opportunities. Next slide, please, sir. We will go one by one as far as these points are concerned. The first point was like processing wise, how to sense the opportunities. What are the sensors processing wise? For processing, I have tried to segmentize this processing in three different basic segments. It is like post-harvest agro activities, then food processing and handling, the actual food processing, and then the food logistics part. If we see all these three segments, I have given some arrows which are connecting to the baseline content, that is like machineries, equipments, then cold chain warehousing, ingredients and additives, packaging material, and the smart packaging. As far as post-harvest agro activities are concerned, this is like a painful area. This has been painful area as far as India is concerned, because India, as we all know, we are having the 10% of processing level for fruit and vegetable produce. So amongst all the produce, we are only processing 10% of it. Although its rate is growing, but the pace of growth of food processing for the fruit and vegetable produce, it is very less. And being food technologist, we actually need to play a bigger role in this segment, and particularly the post-harvest agro activities, wherein the primary processing of the produce that food, agro produce is done for the fruit and vegetables. It's like sorting, grading, washing, trimming. Sometimes there are some processing methods which are needed for the some fruits and vegetables. I have given it in the bottom, like primary processing of custard apple, pomegranate, mosambi, lime, onion, garlic is the need of time. The area where I reside, it's like Bid district in the Marathwada region of Maharashtra. It Now I have seen there are a number of farmers who has started growing the custard apple, but unfortunately there is only one plant which is in my knowledge as far as Bid district is concerned for the custard apple processing, for the primary processing. That primary processor picks the custard apple from the farmers, then extracts the pulp out of it, and then he's freezing it, and in the cold chain he's selling it to the ice cream vendors, ice cream manufacturers, and say different food and beverage manufacturers, wherein this custard apple pulp is needed. Likewise, there is a need of pomegranate processing. There are few processing facilities, but the number of processors, the primary processors, are very less. So being food technologies, this is the emerging opportunity as of now, and this is how we can sense the opportunity. In my area, I know what kind of fruits are grown by the farmers, and accordingly, being food technologist, I need to sense, yes, there is a need of, say, lime powder processing unit, because there are lime manufacturers, but the lime which is uh, getting sold in the market, it is like 1 rupees per lime. And actually, if a food technologist processes the lime and converts it into the lime powder, for one lime, definitely he will be able to earn at least 10 rupees. The earning is tenfold, and this earning is not only for the food technologist being an entrepreneur. This earning will pass on to the farmer also. So the post-harvest agro activities throw immense opportunities for the food technologists, for an entrepreneur to work in this particular area. Then food processing and handling is, as far as food processing and handling is concerned, there are many processing methodologies, there are many machineries involved. Then there is a QC analysis and the lab wherein all the equipments are involved. Then packaging equipments are there. There are many new technologies which has emerged in the packaging. So if we go the processing wise, if we pick one particular segment, one particular processing, definitely there are many opportunities underlying there. We can go in depth and then chalk out one by one opportunities which are there for a food technologist, as a student, as an entrepreneur, as a college or an institution, or as a consultant. And then distribution, definitely India is lacking a lot as far as the distribution chain is concerned. Of course, government of India is coming up with a lot many schemes, and they are aiding a lot many entrepreneurs who are trying to establish themselves in the warehousing and the cold transport chain area. The next slide, please. So this is the second point, how to seize the emerging opportunities in food processing sector. What kind of role media and economy is playing? I would say I would give the rating of 70% to the media and economy, specifically media, because I would like to go back in 1991-92 era, wherein Indian economy has been opened up by the Indian government under the leadership of Dr. Manmohan Singh sir, and PV Narasimha. At that time, actually, India was a closed economy. Closed economy means, what is the meaning of it? I would like to give you an example of Girish Kuberji. So Girish Kuber, in one of the program, he said it very wisely. In 1991, there were only two options as far as cosmetics are concerned for treating the hairs, for the hair treatment for the ladies. There was one multani mati, and there was some other oil which has been naturally extracted. Only two options. Now you go to your wardrobe and you see what all kind of cosmetics are available for the hair nutrition and for the skin nutrition and all. So the cosmetics industry has gone up like anything. We will see n number of products from P&G, from Hindustan Unilever, and from other companies. All these products are not Indian actually. So those are like imported technologies which has come in India from the other markets, and it is as a part of the open economy. But it's not only because of the open economy. The role of advertisement has been immense in promoting these products and in making sure that each and every household is having these products on the shelf. If you check your home, if you check your bathroom, you can see that you are actually spending equal amount of money on these products as much as you are spending on your food needs. So likewise, for the food also, the food products which you were not eating earlier in 1995 or 2000 or 2005, now you have started eating. You can just actually gauge your home, and then you can get to know about this fact. And there is aligning fact to the advertisement, that is the status symbol. The status symbol means all India is the middle class country, and in India, means what happens is like, if my friend is using some product, definitely I will not think about for a single moment I will blindly follow my friend, I will blindly follow my neighbor. I will go and grab that product. I will go and take it at home. I will make sure my son, my daughter, the home people, and myself are eating it. As far as food products are concerned, so status symbol and advertisements are the biggest drivers by far for any kind of emerging opportunities as far as India and the abroad is concerned. Because globe is about the capitalism, and what capitalists decide and promote and percolate, that is being percolated very easily. It's not that I'm against it, but I just want to let you know that this is the major stick to find out what kind of emerging trends will be there in the food processing sector. Again, coming back to the economy, if we see the balance sheet of major companies in the food sector, you consider two major companies in each of the category, like bakery category, beverage, dairy. You take out any two companies and you study their balance sheet. Their balance sheets are available online. You can go to their websites, you can study the balance sheets, and you can see where their growth is. You can go to the ITC, you can check from where ITC has grown up to what level. And this is the company which has really set forth the example, means how one can grow if we decide in the FMCG food sector. So likewise, you can study for the different companies and you can get to know what are the emerging opportunities. Then keep an eye on the share market and the inflation rates, because at last economic lapses will affect the food processing sector or any other sector for that sake. And then again, the magazines, then the newspapers, it is a part of media. Then the channels are very important for setting up the trends. For example, if you start writing any kind of say article, you start speaking on the platform, any kind of platform like I am speaking right now. you get to know about the emerging trends, because in the bargain of preparing this presentation, in the bargain of sharing some knowledge with you, I have studied lot many things in last 4 or 5 days or 7 8 days. And in this bargain means I have learned lot many things, that what is going on actually in the market. And if you start writing something, definitely there is a learning. While teaching, we learn a lot. So you start reading and writing for the magazines and the newspapers. Next slide, please, sir. Then there is an example which I would like to give for the health. The next point is health. How health is driving the emerging opportunities in the food sector. For sure, Corona is the major driver. Means everyone now is conscious about the what are the food products which are acting as a medicine, so which are having the therapeutic values, which are very good for our health. And I would like to I would take this opportunity to congratulate Naneshwar Sinde sir and Mr. Bhushan Rege, who has launched a new book on the medicinal importance of the Indian spices. I do not exactly recollect the book name, but they have recently published this book. Thanks to them, and such kind of activity has to be done by the food technologists. We need to write such books which are very important, which are throwing light on the indigenous products, which are having very good medicinal or therapeutic value. So, as far as the health transition is concerned, I would take the example of snacks, packaged snacks, which is applicable for all the other food products for sure. If we take the example of packaged snack, how transition is happening. So, from the indulgent snack means which is having high fat, sugar, salt. It is the terminology mentioned for the HFSS. HFSS means high fat, sugar, salt products. For example, any product which is means the regulation, as far as FSSAI is concerned, this regulation is in the draft stage as per my understanding. You can go on the FSSAI website, you can study about this regulation. What is the exact meaning of HFSS products? So the indulgent snacks means the HFSS products, means the namkeens or the bhujiyas which are having a little bit high amount of fat, and the sweets which we eat on the daily basis, say all the indigenous sweets which are having high sugar. So those products fall in the indulgence. Indulgence means what is tasty for our tongue. In short, it is not necessarily applicable for all the products. There might be some exceptions, but largely which is tasty for our tongue, which is high in fat, salt, and sugar, it is indulgence. So which is having empty sugars. So those snacks were very much there in the market, not only in India but in the global market also. But now transition is happening from indulgent snacks to the less healthy. So less healthy meaning those are high in carbohydrates, but those are less in the empty sugars. Empty sugars means the added sugars. Any given food product has their own sugar content, which is coming in from the carbohydrate, and there is added sugar. So these less healthy products are not having much of added sugars, but yes, those are having high carbohydrates. But at the same time, they are giving some kind of nutrition, means little bit high in fiber, little bit enriched with the some or other vitamin, for example, that product. But as far as healthy snack options are concerned, the third transition, if we see the Eat Right movement by FSSAI, Eat Right India movement by FSSAI, they are promoting eat less the food with the less fat, sugar, and salt. Eat food which is having high in nutrition. Eat the food which is less processed, because less processed food will have high amount of nutrition. Nutrition loss will be less. So this transition is happening across the categories: bakery, beverages, dairy. It is very much prevalent in Europe. It is catching up pace in US. And yes, we are lagging behind, say, Europe and US as far as this transition is concerned. But definitely India is going to be there sooner or later, maybe down the line, 10 years from now or 20 years from now. We will be seeing lot many healthy products in the market. Next slide, please, sir. Sir, I hope I am audible. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Clearly audible.
Okay. Thank you for confirmation. Then the regulatory authority, law of the land, how it is a source of opportunity, how we can sense the opportunities by studying the regulatory authority. As far as India is concerned, there are 2, 3 regulatory authorities I would like to name. It's not only FSSAI. partially means BIS is playing the role, partially Agmark is playing the role, partially APEDA is playing the role, partially there are some marketing bodies, marketing committees who are playing the role on behalf of government. But yes, the main regulator as far as India is concerned is FSSAI, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. And how it is helpful for sensing the trends. I have given some bullet point informations in the change in regulation column. That is like HFSS regulation, that is high fat, sugar and salt regulation, which I have already told you about. Then the traffic light system is something which is related to the HFSS. It is already there in some of the global markets. For example, some of the European countries, it has already been implemented. Packets are having the traffic light system label, which is there in the bottom. In any given packet, it is having this logo on the packet, and on the basis of this logo, customers will be able to identify without reading the label that yes, if the label is showing the red logo, then it is having high fat, salt and sugar. Then customer will come to know that this might not be good for my body, and I'm not maintaining a healthy lifestyle, so I should actually go away with it. Then the yellow means that the product which is not very unhealthy, or it's not very healthy also. It is something in between. And the green means it is super healthy. Super healthy meaning it will not harm. Looking at my say sedentary lifestyle, if somebody is having sedentary lifestyle, they can go for the product with the green logo on the label. That is called as traffic light system. It has been derived on the basis of content of salt, sugar and the fat in any given product. Yeah, students and the professionals, those who have not gone into it, they can go and study about it. Then the things like sugar tax. Some of the countries already have levied sugar tax on some of the products. If this is going to come, then definitely the food industry will go for the change in their sugar content of the products. Then the no sale of HFSS near schools. There is a recent advisory from FSSAI that in the 50-meter area in and around schools and colleges, nobody can sell the junk food. Junk food meaning which is having high fat, salt and sugar. Oh, if you can see, the major consumers, at least 30-40% driver for the HFSS snacks or say junk food, it is the kids and the youths. And if it has been banned from the 50-meter area of the schools or the colleges, then definitely it is going to hamper the manufacturers a lot. So this is something which is like a concern for the growth, but it is better for the future of India. So this definitely will affect the emerging trend. Means definitely the manufacturers need to revamp their product accordingly. Then the possible ban for some raw materials. There might be possible that today some XYZ product, some XYZ beverage is very famous, but tomorrow FSCCI bans one critical ingredient in that particular beverage. Definitely that beverage has to revamp, or they have to go out of the market. So this kind of say authority the regulatory body is having in the interest of the health of the people, and this ban of the ingredients can change the trends actually. Then the eat right movement is there, then the fortification is there. So all these say regulations can come in place sooner or later, and how there are opportunities aligning to it. Because of these change in the regulation, the manufacturers of the food products need to change their products. They need to have the expert R&D people who can replace the fat, who can replace the salt, who can replace the sugar with some other ingredients which can give the similar impact without having the load of calories, without having the load of fat or the salt in the product. Then scope is there for the optional raw materials suppliers. Then the raw material, there can be say salt replacer manufacturers in the market. Means the ingredient suppliers who are supplying to the food manufacturers. For example, XYZ biscuit industry is producing the biscuit with say high amount of fat, and they need to replace their fat. Then the fat company like say Kamani or Bunge, they need to come up with a solution which will give the textural characteristic to the product which are coming out of the fat, but at the same time it is not giving the actual fat content to the product. So such kind of optional products are going to come into the market. Then there will be a requirement of the regulatory managers to manage the show for any kind of food manufacturer. So right now there are very few companies who are having the regulatory manager on the full-time role, but down the line this segment will have a lot many opportunities. So students can actually learn about the regulatory aspects and they can actually go for the regulatory jobs. So this is the opportunity thrown up by the regulatory authority because of their actions. Then the need of modification in the machinery also will be required as far as textural properties are concerned of the food. Then how one can utilize it. R&D experts can utilize it for their own benefit. Operations experts, they can actually utilize it for their own benefit. And the brand owners, they can launch some kind of new products. For example, FSSAI has come up with the fortification regulation, and with the basis of the fortification regulation, DSM, the company, DSM India, the company which is active in the food additives segment, they have come up with a product called Nu Shakti. They have already launched it in the market. You can find it on the Amazon. And it is this product is meant for fortifying our regular atta, our regular oil, our regular rice, what we are eating. You can go. This is very interesting product. You can check it about it. And there will be similar products in the market which will be launched very soon in the market. Next slide, please. So on the basis of the pyramid, means what is the meaning of pyramid? Pyramid here is it depicts to the population and the class. As far as India is concerned, bottom of the pyramid means the poor people who are living in India or any country or globally. So if we consider the India, these are the figures for India. Then middle class population is nearly 70%. So there are no concrete survey agencies who can actually figure it out how much of middle class percentage is there, or how much of poor percentage is there, and how much of upper class percentage is there. You can just take it as the directional figures: 5%, 70% of middle class, and then the bottom of pyramid, poor people. There are 25% of poor people in India. So they, if we look at the pyramid of the population pyramid or the class pyramid, the each class is having different needs as per their earning. For example, bottom of the pyramid, poor people, they need food for the hunger. They cannot decide on what they can eat. They need to eat what they are able to have, they are able to get in means in whatever earnings they are doing. So it's like their basic need is satiating their hunger. Then the middle class, yes, middle class population in India, they can actually decide on what they can eat, but they cannot go for the luxury even if they have money in the pocket. The middle class population mentality in India is, even if we are having money in the pocket, we do not go and purchase the luxury stuff. We are a country who believe in the saving. So we are the saving country, and that's why middle class population in India, even if they are having money in the pocket, they will not go for the luxury. So that means whatever it is running in the, say, medium price range product value for money products, that will run in the market. Means the products which are having the price bracket of RS 5 rupees or RS 10 rupees, those will be most popular SKUs as far as India is concerned. So this is how bottom of this pyramid, class pyramid, will help us in gauging the major opportunities for the manufacturer. Means if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to launch your product in RS 5 bracket or RS 10 bracket. Otherwise, you will not actually see the growth for your product, because India is the middle class country, and the middle class people in India, they don't want to spend on the luxury items or on the products which are heavy in the price or high in the price. And then there is upper class, they don't bother about the price, they want the luxury products, they want the superfoods. So if you consider the India is like a very say surprising charismatic country wherein everyone is having the market. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you can, and if you want to launch any kind of product, I can bet confidently you will be able to sell it if you are able to find the right pockets. For example, in India, okay, biscuits are sold at 100 per kg, RS 100 per kg rate, and at the same time there are some biscuits which are sold at the rate of 5,000 rupees per kg. There are products, if you dig out further, you will be able to get some products which are sold at different prices. The same product is selling at a very, very different price. And the person who is knowing about how Indian population is eating, how Indian classes are eating, they know the pulse of the market. As a student, as a professional, you can actually take up this as a project. Next slide, please. This slide I would skip, but if somebody wants the presentation, I I will give this presentation in PDF format. This is about how organized and unorganized sector in India eating, and how it is helpful in deciding the emerging trends. I will give one small example actually. Earlier, the major snack products like the savory snacks, earlier means in 2005 to 2010, the snack products those were available in rural market. For example, from the customers like Balaji or PepsiCo, for that sake, Lay's. But now, if you see the nooks and corners of India, you go to the any rural part, you will see loads of snacks available everywhere. So that is the trend. Means now the transition has already happened from urban India to rural India. But yes, largely urban India is eating much more snacks than the rural India. But there is a transition which is happening, and there are the population which is like living in rural India is much more than the urban area or urban India. Definitely, all the snack manufacturers or all the biscuit manufacturers still they are yet to observe the maximum growth for their products, because rural India has started already picking up all these products. So this is just for the example. Next slide, please. Okay, general sensors. In this slide, there are a couple of important points which are very important for the students and the professionals to note as far as the sensing emerging opportunities are concerned. It's like MNCs are the major drivers of the food trends. I have already told it to you in the earlier slide. So for studying the emerging trends, I request everyone, including myself, to follow the top 5 companies in each food category, like in bakery, beverages, dairy, snack, what they are doing globally, particularly the multinationals, what they are doing globally. Because what Nestle is launching in Switzerland or in US, they are today or tomorrow they are going to launch that product in India. What Coke has launched way back in US, the Coca-Cola, they have launched this Coca-Cola everywhere across the globe. Now it is like means the major product as far as food products are concerned. So likewise, every major multinational company, they are going to launch products sooner or later in India. Whatever it is famous in India, they are going to launch it in Europe. So this transition is inevitable. So please track all the major top 5 companies in each food category. Means in bakery, 5 top companies; in beverage, 5 top companies, and what kind of products they have launched globally, what kind of products they are launching in India or they have launched recently, and how they are doing in India as far as those products are concerned. Then the second point, scarcity or availability of raw materials. So depending on the availability of raw materials, the trends in food processing sector emerge. For example, US being the major producer of soya and corn, the processing soya and corn processing industry in US, they have went up to the next level. You name the product and they have produced that product from the corn and soya. We generally get the eggless protein from the milk, but US has the eggless protein from soya. You can imagine what kind of fractionation technologies they have got, and what kind of say levels they have achieved as far as the technological advancement is concerned, just because these raw materials are available in the United States. They have sugar from corn, they have fibers from corn, they have some functional products from soya. Not some, there are more than 700 soya functional products in a company called ADM Agro, where I was working earlier. More than 700 functional products derived from soya, one can imagine. And there are many products which are on the selling platform as far as ADM Agro is concerned for the soya offerings. So, and the scarcity of raw materials means uh, if some companies need the protein, then the there are companies who are working for the alternate protein sources. So this is like a driver for the food processing trend. Then I would request students and all to watch the developed countries for the trends. Means the trend which is going on in Europe, it is going to come in India, or the trend which is going on in India, it is going to go in Africa. So this kind of transition is happening from developed countries to semi-developed, from semi-developed to underdeveloped. And this transition has been happened in the history. If you read the different articles, and this is going to happen in the future. The only thing is this transition time will be much faster, looking at the digitization of the entire globe. The example I would like to give for this transition is the artificial color example from Europe. Due to artificial color, European uh, say regulators, they found that there is a hyperactivity in kids because of eating of the food products which are having artificial color in it. That's why Europe has largely banned artificial colors, and that's how Europe has shifted to the clean label products, because they don't want to mention the word color on their packet. Means if somebody wants to add the red color in their food product, they are adding beetroot extract instead of the artificial color, and they are naming it on the label as beetroot extract, because the legislator has banned the artificial color in most of the products which are being taken up by the kids. That's how they need to forcefully go for the natural options for the colors. So this kind of say transition, it is going to happen in India sooner or later. There might be few studies related to some preservatives or some artificial colors or some artificial additives which might be banned in India, looking at the Indian population and looking at it is affecting at the health of the population. So this will be the trend. You watch the global markets and you will come to know what trends will be there in India, what kind of opportunities will be there in India as far as food sector is concerned. Then the market statistics, you study the statistics and you will come to know what is running. And see, if you go on the export import side, if you see what China is selling, then you will come to know what India is eating actually, or what Europe is eating, because China is selling to Europe, China is selling to US, China is selling to India. You go and study the statistics and you will come to know, yes, there is a scope for apple juice concentrate, there is scope for stevia, there is scope for some XYZ ingredients, pectin, which is coming in from China, there is scope for xanthan gum, there can be manufacturers for xanthan gum in India. So there can be an emerging opportunity in these segments, which we can actually analyze or sense out of the statistics. Next slide, please, sir. I think I will finish early. There are other parameters which will help in sensing the opportunities, like studying the machinery advances. You can go to the food machinery suppliers websites. You can go and check their different designs and what kind of say unique feature they are offering. There are companies like Krones, L&T, Praj, Buller India, Heat and Control, Hilden, Hymec, Tetra Pak, and there are many companies. Then study packaging material. There is a smart packaging already in some of the European countries, which helps in traceability of the product. Means sitting at your office, you can see, say, the product produced on so and so date, where it has reached from so and so batch. Means which customer is eating it and through what kind of cold chain or what kind of transporting system it has passed through. So you can check your product through the smart packaging. This kind of packaging is there. Then there are sustainable packaging solutions which are available in the market, and that trend is going to come in India as well. Then there is, as far as nutrition is concerned, people are trying to search for the sustainable source for developing the nutrients. I would give the example of protein because it is a hot topic. Humankind cannot go on deriving the protein from the animal source or from the plant source. They need to go for some other sources. For example, as energy is concerned, we cannot go for the electricity from the water or electricity from the air. We now need to go for the electricity from solar. Likewise, for the protein, for the fiber, for other nutrients, now entrepreneurs or the innovators are going to the next level. People are producing protein in lab, food in lab, then they're trying to produce all the other different nutrients in the lab. There is a huge amount of research which is going on around this area. Then the sustainable goals and green push. How this is how this sustainable goals or green push will help in sensing the opportunity. Everyone now, including say WHO, then FAO, all the United Nations organizations, all the major countries, they are going for the green push. Green push meaning everyone wants to reduce the greenhouse gases. Everyone wants to reduce the pollution, which is like polluting the earth. and everyone wants to take Earth to the sustainable normal meaning. I have given the definition of sustainable below. It is environment friendly, and it gives the assurance of continuous availability of something. So I will give the example of protein again. If we keep on getting the protein from the animal sources, one day or another day it will happen so that there are no animals left out for the protein. This might be possible. So we need to find out the alternate sources, sustainable sources, which will not affect the environment. At the same time, it will give the sustainable availability of that particular raw material. And here for the green push, now companies are using the microbes to absorb the methane, which has been produced by the cattles, which is responsible for the lower down of the greenhouse gases. This methane is utilized, which is harmful for the environment, and it is being converted into the animal feed, which is important or which is beneficial for the humankind or the animal kind. So this is like a very good example with which we can actually try to sense what kind of emerging opportunities will be there around this topic. Next slide, please. I would leave it up to the students to explain about what are the other key drivers like government policies and the schemes, then the government non-government bodies, how they are influencing the policies, then the government non-government bodies, how they are influencing the policies, then IT sector, information technology sector. We can name it as a different also, but I have for the understanding I have taken artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, digitization under the IT. And this artificial intelligence and the blockchain technology is being used extensively by many food processing companies globally for the traceability, for reducing the manpower concerns as far as the plant operations are concerned. So this is again a major say affecting factor for the emerging food processing opportunities. Then marketing channels. I usually visit the supermarkets or the kirana shops, say fortnightly or every 15 days, and check what is the new product launched in the market, and I taste it. I make sure that I'm spending money for tasting that product and reading the label of that product, because that supermarket product gives me the hint that these are the products which are running in the market, because the supermarket guy keeps the product on the shelf which are actually running in the market. They do not keep the product which are not purchased by the end consumers. So if you are visiting a supermarket and if you are finding any product on the shelf of the supermarket, definitely that is the trend which is going on in the market, or that is the trend or the which is picking up, and there are opportunities lying around it. Then you can actually analyze the export import data, as I given the example of China, and then you can sense the opportunities around the natural man-made calamities like corona, war, drought situations. And because of the effect of these natural or man-made calamities, there are some opportunities which emerge out. For example, during corona, noodles and biscuit industry, bakery industry, they are the major gainers. Then the diseases, um, CVDs and the NCDs, like cardiovascular diseases and the NCDs, non-communicable diseases, are on the rise globally. If you see keenly in each of our families, there is at least one person who is diabetic, or at least one person who is having the problem of BP. And these problems, my dear friends, those are not because of only say our lifestyle. There is a major role of the food products what we are eating since last 20 years. So if you are seeing any food product and if you say that no, this is not going to harm me, it is a wrong notion. Over a period of time, if you are eating a food product for 20 years, it is going to give the result 20 years down the line. And that bad effect 20 years down the line, it will not be visible only in one particular family member. It will be percolating in the next generations through our DNAs. Please try to understand this point. This is very important. And this is how we, being food technologists, being responsible human beings, we need to go for the products which are like beneficial for the next generation and for us as well. Next slide, please. The simplest way to check the emerging opportunities is our home. You go and check your fridge and you see the products which are there in your fridge, and you will surprised to know that yes, these products are running in the market, because if I'm eating it, definitely the people like me, hundreds of people like me are eating it. and you can check it with your say upper class friend, or your say friend from a bottom of the pyramid, or from the friend from middle class. You can check their homes also. You can ask them casually what is there in your fridge, or you can ask them to send the photograph of their fridge or kitchen, and then you will come to know that this is the trend which is going on in the food processing sector. This is the simplest way by far to check the food processing trends and the emerging opportunities. This is like the most realistic way to have the check around the opportunities. Next slide, please. And again, most important point, this is like a very effective way out to check the emerging opportunities. Most of us, including myself, means I usually read the labels, but most of us actually neglect it. Labels are like the major teachers. I say it time and again in many of the webinars or seminars. Labels are by far the biggest teachers for everyone. If you want to learn about the regulatory, you go and check the label. If you want to learn about what kind of ingredient manufacturers are coming in the market, you go and check the label. If you want to check the price points, at what price point how much of grammage of product is being sold in the market, you go and check the label. You will come to know all the things. You will come to know the allergens which are declared as the allergens. If you see the Nestle label, it is the pasta product label. It has the mention of say allergens which might be there in this pasta product. So they need to declare it, because the meaning of it is already some of the Indians are having effect of these allergens. Some of the nuts, soyas, some milk products, allergies are there in the Indian population. That means straight away that there is an opportunity to create the allergen-free products. There is a class which is having allergy for maida. There is a class which is having allergy for milk. There is a class which is having allergy for nuts. So this is an opportunity. This is the emerging opportunity for the food processors. Then if we see the second label, if we see the Balaji noodle, this is the noodle label from Balaji wafers. And there are n number of ingredients enlisted. At least there are 20 ingredients. That means there are 20 ingredients and additives manufacturing companies who are supplying all these ingredients to Balaji wafers. Balaji Wafers is not creating these ingredients on their own. There are some suppliers who are working at the back end, and they are supplying to the Balaji Wafers. That means one Balaji Wafers manufacturer is running 20 different industries. You can imagine the kind of opportunities a label can throw at us. And we can then actually try finding opportunities with all these ingredient manufacturers as a food technologist. And even we can enter into the entrepreneurship field for creating these additives or the ingredients. Then there is a third label which shows that there is a protein biscuit which is sold at 1600 rupees per kg. I bought it yesterday for my wife because she was facing some say weakness problems which are like menstrual related problems, and the doctor recommended that she should have the protein. And these proteins, to my surprise, I bought this threptin pack for rs 440 rupees, which is like 250 gram. If we calculate roughly, it is 1600 per kg. And if we see Parle-G, the same Parle-G, the Parle-G biscuit, although it is not offering that much of protein, it is being sold at 100 rupees per kg. And if we see the protein, say protein price in the market, if you go for the milk protein, it is available at the rate of say 500 rupees to 600 rupees per kg in the market. So if you are purchasing the protein, if you are valuing it in your biscuit, definitely you will be able to sell your biscuit at least 500 rupees per kg, if not at 1600 rupees per kg. You can gauge the kind of opportunity you are having here in this segment. Next slide, please. Then this is the last slide. How one can utilize these sensed opportunities around the food processing sector, and how these will be beneficial for the different stakeholders. Stakeholders, I have tried to segmentize it in the three segments. That's like students and the working professionals for the job opportunities. Then college and institutions, how they can utilize it, these emerging trends, and the entrepreneurs. Nowadays means I would say most of the students and the colleges, they are going out of box. I appreciate most of the colleges and the students who are actually doing some good stuff in the field of food sector, and they are actually giving a lot of knowledge around. but definitely there might be some untouched topics which I have tried to cover here. Some of you might be knowing all of those points, some of you might not be knowing some points. Please try to note it down. I will not go in detail for all those points, but as far as job is concerned, there is opportunity with the journalism. You can work as a legal advisor, you can work in a consultancy firm, you can work in the sales and marketing field. Being a food technologist, you can actually become an entrepreneur. Then as far as colleges and institutions are concerned, a college can actually run their own magazine, they can start their own magazine, they can start their own website, which is open for all. And a college like a medical college, a food technology college, can have a food processing company, a big food processing plant. We are having pilot scale plants nowadays in the colleges. Then my question, very question to the all the colleges is like, why not to have the big food processing plants, and why not to sell your product in entire India? For example, KSK College can actually start their own food processing plant, a bakery plant, which is supplying their bakery products right from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. It is possible, and a similar model every college can adopt, and it will be beneficial for the students like the medical colleges, because in medical college the medical students, they learn hand in hand, they learn the practical and the theory together. This can very much be possible in the food technology colleges, and there is an opportunity around it. Then the entrepreneurs can actually start the training schools. They can start the third party manufacturing plant. This is the ongoing trend: third party manufacturing plants and third party R&D setups. There are now lot many third party R&D setups who are giving a new product development support for food manufacturers. They need not to have their own R&D lab. There are people who are supporting in that. So these opportunities are there, and along with that, I would like to specially mention the websites like Foodary, who are coming up with the different competitions for the students. Students can actually participate on the upcoming World Food Day. They have actually come up with some of the competitions which are very good for the food technology students. You can go on the foodary.com, you can check it out. Food Tech is again a good platform, YouTube platform, and then the Instagram platform, which is offering different kinds of, say, knowledge, food technology related knowledge to the students. Then foodpatshala.com, it is the website from my dear friend Sanju Kumar Sharma, who is actually again sharing a good amount of knowledge since last 2 decades with the food technology students. Please go visit these websites. There are similarly many more websites and YouTube channels which are beneficial. And even you can have your own also. Next slide, please. This is the last slide. Thank you all for listening me with the patience. I hope I have not taken much of time. Looking at my nature, I usually go in the flow. I get myself immersed in the topic, and that's how I forget about the time. If you have any question, you can ask me. You can reach to me on my phone number. It is there. If somebody needs the PPT, you can reach me directly. Thank you, sir. Now over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time which you have given for our participants. And definitely, your knowledge, your experience, your motivational speech, your stellar information that will definitely rejuvenate life of our students or life of participants, those who are participated in today's seminar. So, sir, we have 3 to 4 questions which were asked by the participants. So,
Okay.
should I ask you, sir?
Yes. Please go ahead.
So, one participant whose name called as Vinay Sharma,
Right.
he asked us, sir, that he want to know about the how to manage the fecal sludge in the terms of low cost, means without investing so much cost, how we can adjust the fecal sludge in low cost.
Actually, this I may not be able to directly answer this question because I am not very much expert in that area. My domain has been sales and marketing, but what I can share in reciprocation of this question is I forgot to touch base one topic. There are some distributors and the traders in the market who are working in the non-food product offerings for the food industry, meaning there are distributors who are actually giving solutions for the boilers, boiler setups, boiler chemicals, ATP plants, WTP plants setups, and the ETP, WTP chemicals. And as a part of that, there are some companies who are offering the chemicals which can actually treat the sludge. And there are very good technologies which has come around this topic. Definitely, what I can do, I can actually share the answer with Mr. Vinayji. If he can reach me, I will take the information from one of my distributor from Kenya, with whom I work closely, and he is offering the chemicals for the sludge treatment. So Vinayji can reach me because I don't have answer right now in my hand. I will take the answer from my distributor and I will pass it on to you. Thank you, sir. Next question, please, sir.
Damodaran, he's one of our participants, sir.
Okay.
He asked for the, is there any courses for biomedical sciences?
I think there are some courses around the biomedical sciences. I do not know in depth as, if those are available in India, but yes, some universities globally they are offering it. And if he can check the website of, say, MIT University from US, that is Massachusetts. Its pronunciation is a little difficult for me also. There are some good online courses offered by them. He can check the MIT website if they are having the course around biomedical sciences.
Okay, sir. Next is from Mr. Sandesh Bhopale.
Okay.
How much is the investment cost for lemon powder plant? Means if you want to start up a new plant for lemon powder plant, what will be the cost in order to establish a particular plant for lemon powder, sir? Cost.
This is a very good question. Actually, if we go for the pilot scale, say spray dryers, those pilot, because for the lemon powder or lime powder in India, lemon is not available. Whatever we have is the lime. There is a huge difference between lime and lemon.
Okay, sir.
So for the lime or say lemon, looking at their say the shelf life, it is worthwhile to go for the spray dried powders. And if we see the spray dryer prices, those are like hefty for the plant scale spray dryers. But if we go for the pilot scale spray dryers, somewhere between say 15 lakhs to 50 lakh, there are some companies who are offering the pilot scale spray dryers. Like, he can start with the small, and then he can actually take it to the next level. The best possible option I would recommend is most practical option is he can actually gather good quality of raw material from these farmers, and he can do the third party powder manufacturing. There are many spray dryer manufacturing setups in India who offer third party manufacturing facility. So he just needs to give the raw material. That spray dryer manufacturer will convert it into the powder, and then he will again give it back to him. He can sell it in his own brand name. So for starting, this is the by far means the best possible practical way to go about it. I will not be able to tell the exact investment for the big plant actually.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is one more question from Harshal, sir.
Okay.
I think so. He is from a student background, sir.
Okay.
He asked, sir, we are learning the syllabus from past 20 to 15 years, but that syllabus is not updated. So, is there any problem, or is there any possibility that, except the students, that we can make any changes into the food technological sector related to this syllabus, which we are learning from past 15 years?
Actually, this is very good question, and thanks actually indeed to him for asking this question, because this is something very much important. There is a saying by many of the thinkers around the world: the country which is lacking in the education is actually lacking the direction, and the destination of that country lies in dark. So what we need to correct first is our education. And this question, for answering this question, I would like to say it is not entirely like that. Syllabus is not updated. Syllabus has been updated from time to time, and people, means the academicians and then the government, they are playing their part. But they, unfortunately, the academics and industry interaction in India is very weak. So whatever I try to accomplish in my topics is around the industry, means what is actually happening in the industry, what industry actually needs. And such kind of interactions are needed much more. And for that, I think every college need to align with the industries as much as possible. And once industry gives the inputs, definitely academicians will actually try to change their syllabuses. And this is like a ongoing process. This will take its own time. It is not like that means it will happen in one day. But I would like to give some examples answering his question. Recently there has been syllabuses around the entrepreneurship, around the business management in the food technology courses. I think I am not wrong here. And teachers are actually studying hard and then they are teaching to the students. So students also need to come up with some new topics, some new trends which are going on, and they need to suggest it to their teachers. They need to suggest it to the government on the reliable platforms. But it is not entirely like syllabus. Syllabus is not updated. Syllabus is updated, but due to the less interaction between industry and academics, this is the problem, and it can be improved. It can be improved.
Okay, sir. So from one of your slide, you have described about the allergens on the food commodity on the food level, sir. So
Right.
one of our participants named Swapnil Pathare, he asked
Right.
that is there any mandatory to mention the all the allergens on the food product label, or without
Definitely yes.
allergens we cannot, like we asking whether we
Definitely
have
yes.
to.
No, definitely yes. Yeah, for that means he can see the FSSAI regulation. For all the students, I would like to recommend that FSSAI website is fantastic learning. FSSAI website itself is a biggest teacher in the regulatory field, means I would say as far as India is concerned. If you want to learn food technology, you must actually spend at least half an hour on the FSSAI site. And about the allergen, you will get to know about the allergen declaration on the FSSAI site. I would recommend and request to Mr. Pathare, please go on the FSSAI site, type allergen. You will get some notifications, some regulations around it. You study it, you try to interpret it. If you are not able to interpret, reach me. I will try to explain it further. But definitely, it is clearly mentioned everywhere. It is mandatory. That's why these people are mentioning.
Thank you, sir. Sir, last one from ourselves.
Yes,
One in one of your slide, you have described about the scope of atta, biscuits, milk, Maggie in
right,
this pandemic corona diseases.
right,
But sir, nowadays due to the corona, the peoples are very threat about purchasing or buying a particular product from an unknown person.
right.
So how we can feel a scope in this particular product, or how this product are being sold in the market widely in this corona pandemic? Even the peoples are from the unknown person, they are not eager to buy, or they are not peoples to buy. So how we can have scope for these biscuits and all these products, sir?
Okay, I will give you answer to this question in two different parts. The first part is, if you yourself you check yourself in last 6 7 months during the lockdown also, you have visited the kirana shop. I am correct me if I am wrong. Either you have visited the kirana shop, or you have asked that kirana shop to deliver that product, those products to your house. What has happened? You have definitely purchased some biscuit packets during last 6 7 months. You have definitely purchased some say noodle packets in during the last 6 7 months. And as far as urban India is concerned, there is a big problem. This is the first part I am explaining. Big problem that all the restaurants are closed down. If somebody is on the travel, the most basic option for the travelers, on road travelers, is to go for the biscuits, or for the people who are living alone away from the family. The major solution is the say noodles. And what people are doing, I have seen it myself. Instead of purchasing one or two noodle packets, they are purchasing entire box or half box. Instead of purchasing one or two biscuit packets, they are purchasing half of them, say 10 or 15 biscuit packets, because they're saying, I'm going once in the market, I will not go for next 15 days to the market, I will not visit again. So whatever I need, I will purchase for next 15 days or 1 month. I myself have stocked for 1 month in the initial days of the lockdown, and I have purchased a lot of say noodles and some of the biscuits for my son, because he likes it, and I know means in the 11th hour, on the 11th hour, I cannot go visit kirana shop and take it. So that is how the take up for these noodles and biscuits has gone up like anything. The second answer, the second part of the answer is, since working in the sales and marketing field, I am handling some of the noodle manufacturers in India. I'm handling some of the biscuit manufacturers in India. I'm selling flavors and seasonings to them. And the kind of say flavor and seasoning take up has happened. You will be surprised being a salesperson. I have got wins for 6 7 different products during the lockdown. Means despite of having lockdown, if a person is getting new wins, means if somebody is launching a new product, then only my product will go into that product. I'm selling seasonings to the noodle manufacturer. Earlier they used to buy say 1 metric ton, 2 metric ton. Now they are buying 10 metric ton per month. So you can see the kind of say uptake which has happened for the products which I'm supplying to them as ingredients or as an additives. So the on the basis of these two, I can confidently say, and numbers are also there. I can confidently say that trend is there for the noodles and biscuit. And if you go back into the history, 3 months back, Maggie was stock out. Actually, literally, even EP was stock out from the market. So this is the answer to your question, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable guidance, for your motivational speech, for your informative information, for your experience. Definitely, this will help our students, our participants to implement or to execute this knowledge into their future life. So, thank you very much for your. It's our pleasure to have you with us. And thank you very much, sir. There is one note of the point for the participants. Please,
Right.
the feedback link should be given in the description forms. In order to get assured your e-certificate, you have to fill the feedback forms. Okay. And for further notification about the seminars, for the sessions, for the speakers, about their, you have to subscribe our YouTube channel. Okay. So for next session notification and for further notification, you have to subscribe our channel KSK CFT Bid. Okay. So with this warm regards, once again, I would like to thanks Mr. Satish Borkhade sir for their valuable time and the experience which he had shared with our participants. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to you, and thank you to KSK Food Technology College. And I extend my best wishes for the KSK College of Food Technology. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, participants. Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.